if there is one URC quarterfinals that you look at and you think that one's got tries in it, that one's going to have a few points scored, it's the Bulls against Benetton. It should be an absolute belter at Loftus Versfeld. And the interesting thing, when I look at the two teams, and I am going to do a combined 23-man squad, if you had access to all 23 Bulls, all 23 Benetton players, who would you put together into one 23-man squad? And what does that tell us about where the balance of power lies between these two teams and where the game could be won and lost? When you look at the team sheets, one of the first things you notice is that one of the people they were using to promote the fixture, Keenan Moody, one of the young talents in world rugby right now, up-and-coming young talents, announced himself on the world stage. Looking forward to seeing him in the last 8 of the URC, and he's not there. He's unavailable. Will he be back if Bulls win and potentially are playing against Leinster at home next week? That's the game where you want your big guns. And yeah, very much be looking at the injury status of Keenan Moody ahead of that one. Same goes Marco van Staden, who is not there in the back row. World Cup winner, load of experience, brilliant fetcher at the breakdown. He is not there. And so we're not going to see that matchup with him and Michele Lamaro in this particular game. What I'm understanding is he would be back next week if the Bulls are still in it. They're favourites to be in it. I think they will still be in it. I think they'll probably be playing Leinster, which is just box office. And by the way, how exciting is that? That potentially these semi-finals could end up being, depending on how games go elsewhere, could end up being Ireland against South Africa in Ireland, Munster Stormers potentially, taking nothing for granted. And then it could be South Africa versus Ireland in South Africa, Bulls v Leinster, potentially. And that is just 2 semi-finals, which are just perfect. One in Ireland, one in South Africa, all as we build up to those test matches in only a few weeks' time now between the world champion South Africa and between the Six Nations champions and former world number ones, Ireland. 2 games I will be at, one of them in the Pretoria Stadium, Loftus Versfeld. Can't wait, in fact. In fact, that's another reason why you need to hit subscribe on the channel, just so you don't miss any of that good stuff when it comes. But let's focus on this match for a second, because yeah, no van Staden, no Keenan Moody. The team though is still absolutely stacked, and you see that when you go, what an amazing problem to have if you're Jake White. Which one of my awesome hookers do I want to pick? Grobelaar, Akker van der Merwe? Oh, tough one. I mean, they're both going to get best part of 40 minutes, and it's just, they've got some serious heat throughout the 23. But little chink in the armour now that there are those 2 Springboks, those 2 World Cup winners not in the squad. And that will be a slight boost for Benetton, who, when they look at their 23-man squad, and again, Benetton, you've got to deal with this graphic thing. They put a video out on social media when they announce their team. When you go and try and look for a picture of the team, like everyone else does, this is all you find on their website. But hey, c'est la vie, that's what we've got. They are stacked with internationals, Italian rather than Springbok, but really good players. When I look at the selection, it's interesting. Tommaso Melancello, who's formed such a brilliant centre partnership with Juan Ignacio Brex. Melancello's been put on the wing. He's played plenty of times there before. And Malachi Fekitoa comes into midfield. Malachi Fekitoa is a guy who just puts shots in. He's a big old unit, former All Black, recently Tonga, and just defensively an absolute exocet missile of a player. And I just look at that. You look at Rhino Smith, who's been brilliant this season. Melancello, Brex, Fekitoa, Ratavi. They are massive. So much power in that Benetton backline. I think they're coming, and they know they have to rough up the Bulls. The Bulls are so brilliant and loose and dynamic and quick. And I think they're just trying to get up and in your face. And that's one of the things. It's almost just a non-negotiable. You play against the South African team, whether that's an international team or a club side, you have to bring the physical challenge and you have to front up. And I think Benetton are coming with that in mind. Let's go out and bang some people legally. But when I look at their backline, that's what I see. So it should be really fascinating. That said, how good a defender is Kurtley Arendse? Him and Damien Penaud would be my dream wingers right now if I had to pick. Kurtley Arendse on the left wing, Damien Penaud on the right. Both amazing in attack, but Kurtley Arendse's defence is awesome. So he won't mind having Melancello trying to come and rough him up. That's fine. But when I look at the pack, really, really good players as well. And actually, I'd have some heart if I was a Benetton fan when you look at Nicolo and Lorenzo Canoni, two really good internationals, Italian internationals, coming off the bench. And yeah, they've got some real good quality throughout their 23. It's on the Highveld. It's in South Africa. They've had to travel there. I don't expect Benetton to win. I think it could be a relatively comfortable Bulls win in the end, but there is hope for Benetton. When I look at a combined 23-man squad, tell me what you would do. Do you disagree with this in any way, shape or form? I've gone for 6 Bulls forwards out of the 8. Without Marco van Staden, that made it an easier choice for Michele Lamaro and Elrich Lowe with Cameron Hanekom. Federico Rutzer, the only other Benetton player that gets into the pack. 2 Benetton players get into the back line with Brex and Menoncello. Despite Menoncello being on the wing, I still would pick him in a combined team. Other than that, it's Bulls all the way. On the bench, fairly well split. Benetton have got a hope. They need things to go their way. Maybe a decision here or there. Just discipline's got to be on point. And you cannot switch off for a second against this Bulls team because they are wired to score tries. And you get the feeling they're going to go out there and think, we're going to go out there and win this rather than try not to lose it. They're going to grab the, excuse the pun, bull by the horns. And I am predicting a Bulls win by 13. 2 scores or thereabouts. But if we knew what the result was going to be, we wouldn't bother watching. That's what makes it interesting. That's why hopefully you'll check back on the channel, hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. See you on the next one.